I'm on Zepbound my second week. I'm white knuckling it and not feeling anything. Help, Countess, what do I do? I got this amazing comment from a viewer and my heart went out to this person. So first and foremost, if this is you, I love you so super much and I'm giving you a big hug. And two, I've got a ton of action and solution items for you today. So let's dive in. If we don't know each other though, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 107 pounds. I'm talking fast today because I just had a crispy Diet Coke. If you know, you know. So forgive me if you can change your settings to make me a little bit slower in my speech. But the first thing that I would do, if you're in your second week of Zepbound and you're not feeling it, is, and again, this is not medical advice. This is from somebody's experience, my experience, strength, and hope, from somebody who's been on this medication for well over 2 years, lost 107 pounds. This is not theory to me. Like, this is my life. This has been my life. And over 110 injections of Mounjaro, Zepbound, and Tirzepatide compound, the combination of those because of the shortages, is I would talk to your healthcare provider immediately, because you are on the second week. You need to figure out, because we have in our first box that you got was Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, or if you're on the Zepbound Vol, you got the 4 weeks. So one each week. So every 7 days you take one. There's 4 of them. That's 28 days. Because you're on your second dose or your second week, you're going to need to figure out if you're staying on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams or if you're going to titrate up. If I were you, and this is not medical advice, this is me talking to a bestie, and this is what I would do if I was in that position, I would get on the horn immediately and say, honey, there's a hawk right over. It wasn't a hawk at all. He was just eating. It was a crow. What I would do is immediately, that was so random, like so random. I would immediately talk to my healthcare provider and about titrating up. What do they think, right? Because at the end of the day, this is between you and your healthcare provider. I'd titrate up. I'd be like, I need to titrate up. No. And even then on Zepbound 5 milligrams, you still may not feel that. Knowing that for me, my framing of this is a marathon, not a sprint. For me, obesity, well, not for me, it is. Obesity is a disease. Whether you choose to believe that or not, it is. Like, the sky is blue, the grass is green. It is. And there's varying shades of grass color when it's like dead, or if we just got a ton of rain, it's very, very vibrant green. So there's many shades of obesity like that too, there's a big spectrum of it. So whether that's a horse for a different color. You need to talk to your doctor about potentially titrating, I would say, and I would talk to my doctor about titrating up. And then number 2 of that, of keeping in mind that it may take, and let's go to the data. What does the data says? Data says, survey says, it may be Zepbound 10 milligrams, Zepbound 12.5 milligrams, or Zepbound 15 milligrams, like the highest dose, before something feels where it should be feeling. I think one of the things, and this is the sidebar off of my tips, is social media, and we can hear and see these stories. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I was on the Oprah show about Shame, Blame, Weight Loss Revolution with GLP-1 thought leaders. And for sure, that did slightly jack with my brain of where I should be on my weight loss. And one of the guests on that show was Amy, and she is awesome. If you guys follow Amy from that show, she's amazing. I still follow her because she's very inspirational. But I found myself comparing myself to her. She's well hit her goal weight. She is very thin. She looks amazing, hotter than hot. Kudos to you, girlfriend. But I felt at a deficit that I wasn't as good. I wasn't as good enough. And that made me feel really crummy. And so I'm saying that story of, like I said, I love Amy. I've worked through that. Obviously, like, now I'm not like Jelly Belly. But there was a hot second there of like, well, why am I not at this? Or what's wrong with me? And so I think social media can do that for us. And so if you hear these other stories of other people, for example, my first week, I lost 11 pounds. I share that story, and I've shared it you would not have wanted to trade places with me that first week. I promise people that. Like, it was a train wreck. But I share that story in my first week to help encourage you that it just may take longer to get there, and that we can hear stuff that can be not what the truth is. And on social media, it can get overinflated with people of like, everybody's losing weight but me. And so it's really helpful to stay in your own lane and to know that there's way different spectrums of using GLP-1 medication. It may just take you to the highest dose. There's 4 buckets: hyper responders, hypo responders, normal responders, and non-responders. If you are a slower responder, a hypo responder, which we know hypo responders are typically men, typically type 2 diabetics, typically people with a larger waist. There's a third one. Oh, and older folk. Nope. Older folk is for weight plateau starts sooner than younger folk. It has no relation to the hypo-responder part. Let me make sure I'm being factually accurate. You guys know I demand and require myself to be factually accurate. So all that to say, it may just take you longer and a higher dose. And that also, for me, was right now to not be at my goal weight. I can completely empathize and sympathize of like, I'm not where I want to be right now. It bothers me. And I don't like to use the word hate because I don't hate anything, but I almost said hate. I really just like being where I'm at in terms of not being at my goal weight. I feel like I'm so close, and I've been dealing with obesity for decades, and it's like, gosh darn it, other people are getting this and I'm not. But that's not really a helpful mindset. It's not going to get me to my goals, and quite frankly, I need to be solution oriented and not woe is me to get to where I want to be. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying for me, I can understand. Next, we need to lean into the data more. We really need to lean into data more about the 8 hour to 72 hours. The data tells us that we feel GLP-1 the best. For me, it's specifically 24 hours to 48 hours. I clocked it today that I started to really feel the appetite suppression. I took my shot at 9 o'clock last night, and I felt it today at 2 p.m. I was like, ooh, I feel very full. Hence the reason I got my crispy Diet Coke. I was out and about, and I was like, I don't want food. I just want a beverage. And I'm probably going to have a very, very small dinner. I got some chicken salad and some vegetables for dinner. Small portion going to be on one of my little salad plates. But I'm saying that because that was 7 minus 24. So it was, 17 hours? I really very much felt appetite suppression, and it feels great. So leaning into the data tells us 8 hours to 72 hours, we feel peak appetite suppression with Zepbound and Tirzepatide compound, or Mounjaro if you're on it. Slightly different for semaglutide, but within that for me, because I tracked my data on countessofshopping.com, my free tracker is there, my injection tracker. You can use the printable to track your specific data. And it's really, really helpful to know, okay, during this period, that's why I know 24 to 48 hours is peak for me, because I track the data. I can tell by the specific data with it as well. Next tip, changing my food. It took me a full year. Even now into the second year, it's my second, after my first year is when I could focus in on changing physical habits. But the first year was really changing food habits of literally just putting down my fork when I was full. And then it was like, okay, well, how do I eat more protein? And so I tried eating more protein. And I realized how many shrimp and like real food it would take to not use protein supplements, which is then why I started using protein supplements like Bioptimizer's Protein Breakthrough. I'll link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN, or using things like Clean Sibilate's protein shakes, or their clear protein drinks, or their collagen drinks. Use the discount code QUEEN. I've linked it down on the description link below. For all of these discount codes, by the way, you can go to countessofshopping.com/shop, S-H-O-P. I've negotiated discounts from all of these vendors for the community to save us some money. So one of the biggest things is changing food and changing my protein intake specifically. And then with that protein intake, is there a fair here? There's 10 million children walking past me. Okay, I feel like we have 10 million kids here. No, quite no way. Okay. And for sure changing my food, literally changing my protein intake and changing my fiber made such a big difference. And I didn't realize until I started tracking how much protein I was not eating. Even still, after 2+ years, over 110 injections, I still find myself, literally this happened, I had to go back to tracking because I found myself like, I'm not eating enough protein. And then I looked and I calculated out what I ate the day before. In my head, I'm like, oh, that's enough protein. It was 50 grams of protein. I'm supposed to be having over 100 grams of protein. And so for me, that has been very, very helpful of how little protein I'm having, which helps with muscle mass and building that. And then also the fiber component of fruits and vegetables. I like fresh fruits and vegetables. If you want to do frozen, if you want to do canned, whatever makes the best sense for you. For me, I really get very excited about fresh fruits and vegetables. Oh my gosh. And trying different ones and going to different grocery stores. It's like a little romance game of like different fruits and vegetables. Making and changing those habits for me, that started with Zepbound 2.5 milligrams. That curiosity level of, oh, this is like what quote thin people do. And quote thin people put their forks down. But when I'm eating with my fork, making those food choices, so much better. so much better than what they were now. And so that's what I really want to encourage you is that leaning into the lifestyle changes. And for me, I knew I needed to make them. I just didn't know what they were. And it's taken me, I feel I'm slower than most. Like I'm slower than the average bear. And that's okay. Like that is okay, that it's going to take me longer to really learn and learn these new lifestyle skills, this whole new way of life, of eating, of like, okay, what does 4 ounces of chicken breast look like? What does 6 ounces of cooked chicken look like? And I don't like chicken for a long time. So if you don't like chicken, don't eat chicken. I didn't eat chicken for a long time. And now I've like brought it back in. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And leaning into fish and to shrimp and to like other protein sources for me that made sense. And I want you to lean in for you. You do you, boo. You do what's best for you. You do what's best that makes the best sense for you, because we're all different. Our taste buds are different. I don't like super spicy stuff. Maybe you do. But leaning into that. And once with the 2.5 milligrams, it's interesting when people don't feel anything, or they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much blowout diarrhea or gastrointestinal or nausea or whatever. And so eventually more often than not, you're going to hit that point. Now there are non-responders, but that very well, like, don't lean into that just yet. That very well could be very, very far off after you've got to Zepbound 15 milligrams. Like, that's a long ways away. I'm leaning into the fact that you're going to feel something. I just want to feel something. You're going to feel something here soon. It just may mean a higher dose. And it may not be Zepbound 5 milligrams. It may be Zepbound 7.5 milligrams or Zepbound 10 milligrams. And so figuring out for you, your next step is between you and your healthcare provider, figuring out for you, I don't know, 2 weeks in, how am I feeling? Checking with my body. Does that feel good? Is it not really feeling anything? And should I be titrating up for the next month? You got to work that with your healthcare provider. For me, I would, if I didn't feel anything on Zepbound 5 milligrams, okay, at that 2-week mark, I'd be like, okay, let's go ahead and get the next one when I can make the next upgrade with this, if you're using savings card or your insurance or whatever you're doing. If you're doing Eli Lilly's Zepbound vials, whatever makes the best sense for you. And then keep figuring that out. Maybe it's Zepbound 7.5 milligrams that you still don't feel anything. Okay, then going up to Zepbound 10 milligrams, like getting to that point, I'm going to lean into you're going to get there. Everybody's body's different, but I'm going to lean into you're going to get there, and you may just need a higher dose to get to that point. And that's okay. Like, that's totally, totally okay. That's why I'm saying put your blinders in. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't lean into, use my experience, strength, and hope. Take what you want and leave the rest. Don't let that sway you or get you off track with what other people are doing on social media, besides with what you're doing on social media. One thing I do also need to add with the food component is I feel like as an obese person, a morbidly obese person, that I felt for a long time, not villainized, but like, oh, this is all my fault. Well, come to find out now that we have more information and more data, it actually wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I literally was genetically predisposed to have a GLP-1 deficiency. And so that's the way my genetics are. That's not my fault. That was the way I was born. And so reframing it that way of like, this also may just mean you may have more, and this is unscientific, and talk to your healthcare provider about this, but this is the way I see it, of like, your body just needs more GLP-1 with it of the higher dose, meaning it's having more of a deficiency. So therefore it's needing more of the medication. That's not on you doing anything wrong. And I feel like frequently for me, I internalized over my morbid obesity and obesity since I was in elementary school. That may not be your story, but that was mine, being on my first diet since I was a little kid at elementary school. That it was my problem, my fault, my choices. And yes, you guys know I'm the first person to be like, take personal responsibility, take accountability, which I have very much been recently working on. For a couple of different things of I need to take personal accountability because that is my problem. That is like the fingers pointing at me. However, it has been helpful to know that some of these things were not because of my choices. It just set me up completely for failure with my genetics of obesity. When you look at the data, when you look at the studies of like Surmount, the different Surmount studies, it's like overwhelmingly when you compare GLP-1 medication to placebo, meaning nothing, overwhelmingly, of course, like now I have success. I am now on the same playing field, and I feel like for my whole life, I've had my hands tied behind my back of dealing with my food and weight. And that's how most, quote, normal people feel. And so I want to share that with you of maybe then you don't necessarily need to make dramatic changes with your food, or it may just mean you're eating the right thing. It's just smaller portions of it because you haven't hit the right dose on it too, right? Like, this is where I really do believe, not that we're villainized, and I don't think that's the right way of saying it, but that obese people have been painted in such a picture of like, we're doing all this wrong. Well, maybe not. Like, maybe it's just smaller portion sizes with what we're eating. And for me, that is having as much fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, or vegetables and fruits if they're frozen or canned or whatever. Vegetables and fruit and protein. And I do take protein supplements like protein shakes, and I'll put the protein powders in to make fluffy protein yogurt or protein bowls and things like that with the protein powder, because I can't get to the protein goal I want. I'm not going to have 17 pieces of shrimp. I'm just not. And that's also not realistic or affordable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to do a lot, but like, you see what I'm saying? Like, to hit my protein goals, I guess I could have 20 pounds of beef. And that's an exaggeration. Hopefully, I was exaggerating on that, but you know what I mean? Like, leaning into some of these of like, I'm doing the very best I can with the tools that I have. And some of these changes are mine to own, and most of this is the medication part of it. That there's nothing wrong with you. You just need a higher dose. Point blank, period. That's why I'm also saying this of, you very well may need to be at Zepbound 10 milligrams, Zepbound 12.5 milligrams. I'm at Zepbound 15 milligrams, friends. I'm going to say girlfriend because I know the person who wrote this comment's a woman. Girlfriend, I'm at Zepbound 15 milligrams. I know I need like Zepbound 20 milligrams. Literally, like, there's no such thing. There's no Zepbound 17.5 milligram. Like, there's no such thing. No such thing. So I hope that this ends. I'm kind of stuck right now is why I'm saying that. I'm stuck. So I'm 20 pounds away from where I need to be ish, like 15, 20. It's frustrating, but it is, right? And so getting to that point, if you're just 2 weeks in, just keep going, because more than likely you're going to hit that. And I did, clearly I lost 107 pounds. I had that cadence and rhythm in which I've hit that's been beautiful, amazing. I mean, to lose what I've lost, my husband keeps reminding me of that. My husband keeps reminding me to lose what I've lost and that I've kept it off, because he's known me since I was 18 at James Madison University at a keg party doing a keg stand. He's known me since I was a wee pup, and that I've gained back every single pound that I've ever lost, probably about 1,000 pounds throughout the course of my life. I've gained it all back. And the fact that I haven't gained back in over 2 years, I've just continued to lose weight. And now somewhat at a standstill, but I will lose that last 20 pounds. I know I will, 15 to 20 pounds. I know I will. And with the weight training that I'm doing, like my muscle, I'm like so proud of it that it's going to come off. All that to say, it's a dose issue for me. It's a dose issue. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing everything right. I'm making permanent, sustainable lifestyle changes with my food and with physical activity. And for me, the third part of that is like mental and spiritual as well, right? Am I growing and increasing on those on a daily basis? I'm trying. I realized I have a mouth problem at sometimes. I've realized this literally this week. This is not what the topic is, but I feel like I'm going to share it from my heart. So feel free to skip past this part and get to it if you want to move past the next minute or two. But my mouth has become an issue recently for me. I will clap back, and it's because I've been like the halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired with what's happening personally with a family member that's been in the hospital, and it's been stressful. And my husband worked at Homeland Security and left, and that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse not to have manners or be nice or kind. And I say at every end of my video about kindness, every single video. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos about kindness. And I've realized some of my comments, I have not been nice because someone's not been nice to me. It doesn't give me an excuse not to be nice to them. I should just block them and not say anything. But I realized, I'm like, wow. So anyways, my therapist and I have been talking about that and working on that too, of like, okay, like I've realized that recently about myself as I'm making these changes. I don't have to have that defense coping skill anymore. I used to have it from being very insecure about my weight and insecure about stuff. And that's not my life anymore. It's not my life anymore. I have the evidence to prove that I don't need to be insecure about some of these things, like my body and things like that. And a couple of other things too. But I'm saying that as an example of like, I'm still growing. I'm using it as an example of, I felt like crap over that this last week. I'm like, oh, that does not feel good. That's not the person I want to be. It's not the person I want to evolve into. Yeah. And I feel like, I was going to say, it's because I'm hungry. It's because I am hungry. I am trying, y'all. I'm really, really trying. And I know that it's Part of this is it's a GLP-1 deficiency that requires more medication that doesn't exist right now. It will. I know when CagriSema and Retatrutide come out, I'll be the first one in line to get either or, pending my healthcare provider tells me that I'm allowed to do that, but I'm assuming they will. It's frustrating though. It's very frustrating to be where I am at right now. I'm like, ugh. Anyways, I don't know why I went down that tangent. All that to say, lean into the data. Going back to the data tells us 8 to 72 hours. So lean into that. Lean into your peak appetite suppression and use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage for sure. Because it may just be very, very small, but still use it to your advantage and get that protein in. You may not realize how much protein you're not consuming as a result of it, and that you may need to just simply consume more of your protein. It may just be that. Like, for me, that has been a very big thing of like, oh, I am so hungry because I'm not consuming enough protein. Let me fix that. And then once I fix that, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is a big game changer. It's a big game changer. Oh my gosh, my mom almost just hit that car. I don't quite know what she's doing. It's a crazy day here at the Countess of Shopping household. She thinks I'm filming her. This is so funny. No, I'm not filming you. I'm filming myself. My kid's like, Grandma, this is hysterical. This video has been like, my kid's like, Grandma, she's just filming. It's okay. She's just talking to her camera. That's like, he knows. If you guys knew me back in the day for Amazon Live, like the Duke would sit on the floor during the pandemic and like color during like my 5-hour live streaming sequences. I'd be in front of like 1 million viewers and he'd just be there coloring, so my kid knows. Anyways, I'm like dying. Sidebar. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Very many side tangents on it. It's a little bit, not a little bit, a lot chaotic. I'm sure people are gonna be like, that's so chaotic. That's royal living meaning real life. Hello. I love you guys so super much. Our question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me down in the comments below. Number 2 is our emoji of the day. Our emoji of the day is a lemon, because we're going to make lemonade out of lemons. And so I do emojis of the day to get to know you better, because I care, and your pattern recognition of seeing your name over and over and over is like our bat signal. It's like our bat signal for me to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought, because all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table. I love you guys so super much. My sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings, because life is delicious. Here comes the dew. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.